Mr. Speaker, Canada is now faced with the largest public sector strike in 40 years, despite the government spending $21 billion more on the bureaucracy. More Canadian jobs were created in 2021 by the government, and yet service levels are down. That takes a special kind of incompetence to have more spending and less results. The Prime Minister is failing taxpayers who deserve access to public services. So when will the Prime Minister fix the government that he broke?
The Honourable Minister for Tourism.
Our government respects collective bargaining. Our government respects having a negotiated settlement at the negotiation table. But, Mr. Speaker, let me have the opportunity to talk about exactly what's in our budget that was prepared with and by public sector workers with our own government members. Mr. Speaker, in my own city of Edmonton, Heidelberg Materials is going to create the world's first net zero cement plant, $1.36 billion worth of investment. Why? Because the tax credits are right in the budget. Thousands of jobs, national leadership, international first, right in Edmonton, thanks to our government.
The Honourable Member for Kelowna Lake Country.
Mr. Speaker, why doesn't the Prime Minister get up and answer questions? Because he doesn't care. You know, Canadians are getting sick and tired about hearing about the Prime Minister's free, lavish vacations. At the same time, while hearing about Canadians diving in dumpsters looking for food, Canadians are getting sick and tired of waiting in lines for services. They're getting sick and tired of trying to balance their home budgets. It's a special kind of incompetence to be failing so badly. So when will the Prime Minister get to work to fix the problems that he created?
The Honourable Minister for Innovation.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased to respond to my colleague and say one kind of competence we have on this side of the House is that we listen to Canadians. And that's exactly what we did in the last budget, something that they would not like to talk about, Mr. Speaker. But in the last budget, we listened to Canadians. What did they say? Help us with grocery, Mr. Speaker. That's why we came with the rebate on grocery. 11 million Canadians will benefit from that. That is listening. The second thing they say, we want a family doctor. That's why we invest in healthcare. The third thing, they say, build the economy of the future. That's why we got Ericsson to invest here in Ottawa, close to $500 million. That's how you build an economy, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Bellechasse, Les Etchemins-Lévis. The Prime Minister went on holiday with his family in Jamaica. So far, so good. But what's not so good, Mr. Speaker, is that he went to a villa that rents for up to $9,000 a night, a villa that belongs to rich friends of the Prime Minister, and those friends are also donors to the Trudeau Foundation. How can this Prime Minister be so disconnected that he didn't think this through ahead of time? If he wants to earn back some of the credibility that he's almost completely lost, can the Prime Minister tell this House that he paid out of pocket the costs for the vacation for him and his family? The Honourable Minister of Canadian Heritage. Mr. Speaker, these questions, well, we've been answering them day after day, but the real question is for my colleague. She's a former CBC Radio-Canada journalist. Does she agree? Does she agree with the attitude of her leader who wants to shut down the public broadcaster, who's attacking information, who's attacking journalists, and who's attacking our democracy? Does she agree with that, Mr. Speaker?
The Honourable